I found a magical rock. It was a magical rock because it could draw on cars. My dad didn't like my magical rock. When I was 4 I really liked cows for some reason. So I went outside, got on all fours and actually chewed on grass for a good 5 minutes. In like 4th grade I filled rolled up notebook paper with grass clippings and sold joints for 25 cents on our playground. The school was really mad at me until they figured out that I was completely fucking retarded. We had a tree house with a zip line. The tree house was rotted and my dad told us to go ride the line a few more times if we wanted to because he was going to tear it all down. I let my brother have the last ride, then cut the rope when he was halfway down. I thought it was hilarious, him not so much. Dad even less amused. There was a bushfire near my house, so there were eagles circling the area in the sky. I laid out on the trampoline for an hour naked with ham on my body to try to attract and catch an eagle. When I was in the throes of puberty I fucked my couch on the regular. No really. I fucked my couch. I shoved my dick between the cushions. I used to eat fire ants from my garden. They tasted spicy and crunchy. The ants feared me. You know how in cartoons a character would always step on a rake and it would hit them in the head? I wanted to know if that would actually work and I figured the only way I could prove it beyond a reasonable doubt was to try it. It did. Then I had to go to my cousin's graduation ceremony with a big ass color changing bruise right on my forehead. Got my first tattoo at 15 years young from a guy I found on Craigslist that said pussy is pussy on my shoulder, which then turned into about 10 painful laser treatments after my mother finding out about a month later. I wanted to impress my parents on how well I could cut along a line, so I took some of their money out, cut out the president's pictures perfectly. I threw a stick between my brother's bike spokes when he was going pretty fast, destroyed his bike and I was grounded all summer. Still funny as hell. Edit. He lived. My friend had a deck that was about 20 feet from the ground. We thought it would be super awesome to get a bunch of rope tied to a post and jump off of it. We didn't measure it out, but we figured the rope would catch our fall a few feet from the ground. However, just to be safe we tied the rope around our neck and the rest of our limbs so we wouldn't have to hold on to it. Her grandma ended up catching us before we jumped and ended up breaking our necks / winning the Darwin Award. When I was about 7 I put a full peanut butter and jelly sandwich into the VHS slot in my VCR. I had figured with all the work he does he must be hungry. Tried to make lava by heating up rocks and pot on the oven. Somehow figured out that adults don't need to breathe. Held my breath till I passed out several times. Tried to invent a new way to eat. I crushed up plants, mixed them with water to make a thick green slime and would smear it all over me, hoping I was able to survive via photosynthesis. Was sent to my room once. Tried to climb out of the first floor using dental silk as rope. Tried to measure the amount of electricity a house had, since I had the notion that electricity is stored somewhere in the wall, by putting things into socket and build a straight line out of forks and spoons and touch at every few forks to make sure there was still electricity leaking out of the outlet. I'm a mathematician now, so I guess everything went okay-ish. When I was like 11 I wanted to get out of school the next day, so on the way home from a Super Bowl party with my mom I started acting like my stomach hurt. She said she'd give me something at home for my stomach ache. Knowing this wouldn't get me out of school I started fake crying and said it really hurts. By this time we were already in the driveway of our apartment. She looked at me and said, I'm gonna take you to the hospital, but if you're faking I'm gonna beat your ass. Mexican household. So I stuck to my story and continued sobbing and saying it hurts. We get to the hospital and they don't know what's wrong with me, so they wanna do a CAT scan of me. My mom agrees and off I go. After the scan the doctor told us he thinks my appendix looked a little inflamed and that was probably the reason for the pain. I literally had no pain or discomfort anywhere, and that they wanted to remove it, which means surgery. My heart sank at the news, but I knew I couldn't confess now, I was too deep. So they schedule the surgery for the next morning. The morning comes and about half my family is there for support and prayer. I'm super fucking nervous at this point, so when the nurse gave me a shot on my butt cheek I accidentally tensed up and felt one of the worst pains of my life. They take me into surgery and everything went fine. The surgeon even came to recovery and showed me my appendix, which was awesome.